Viewers, this is A Vision Media Broadcast. Once again, we have a special guest. This is a legend, legendary Dr. Suga T, multi-recording artist, CEO, performer, writer, speaker, producer, author, creator, and a game changer. This is legendary Suga T. How are you?
Hello. I'm wonderful. How are you?
Sugar T, I'm happy. Like I said, I thank you for coming on, and I know that when I call it the golden years, me checking out the click, Be Legit, E40, which is your family, your brother, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and I
Mhm.
just want you to just take me back to
Yeah.
how
E40 and D Shot are my brothers. The
D Shot,
Click. The
the
first
click,
family in rap.
the click, E40 and D Shot was the
And Be
click.
Legit is my cousin.
That's
And
right.
we
Be
make
Legit.
the click.
So it's a whole family situation going on, right? That's
Yeah.
well, that's perfect. That's perfect. And I know you're from the Bay Area, correct?
Yes. Northern California.
Northern
Vallejo,
Cali.
California.
Okay.
hmm
Let's
20
go
minutes
back.
from Oakland.
Okay.
20 minutes from San Francisco.
So you right hitting everybody, like right there in the middle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's where I'm from.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great coming out of the Bay. How was it growing up in the Bay Area?
Um, it was cool. You get a little bit of this. It depends on what time,
Okay. Well,
what age.
let's go from the
Things
teenage.
happen.
Yeah.
hmm What was that?
No, I said let's go from the teenage years if you want to start from there.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. You seen a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Hmm.
You was able to see the good, the bad, and ugly,
Wow.
and definitely was raised to be strong. Um, back in our day, parents kind of had the mindset. You go and get out the house and go do something.
Right. That's right. It's mine
And
the same way.
figure something out. Don't just be up in here looking at us and messing up the house.
That's right.
Go find something productive to do.
We had the same kind of parents, exactly. We
Mhm.
had to go out, scrub the steps, do this and do that, put us to
Wipe the
work.
walls,
The baseboards, yeah,
go to work
yeah,
with them.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we worked hard. We were taught to work really hard. hmm
Yep, and that's definitely what we did also. You know,
Yeah. And you get to see a little bit of this and a little bit of that, pretty different. We had manners. We were
right.
kids, cutting up kids, like many, but we also had a lot of respect for adults, and respect in a different way than today's. And we appreciated our elders because our elders wasn't killing themselves giving us no information. We had to figure out half the stuff.
Figure it
So
out. That's right. We had to figure out
it
everything.
was just interesting because I see a different type. These newer generations, they're like,
Yeah,
they kind of challenge the elders and feel that us older women they can't get anything from us and they're gonna outdo us, outshine us, outlive us, and which is
mhm,
true, but someone's gonna outlive them too. But they don't really have the appreciation of
mhm.
of the older generation. So we had a lot of respect for the older generation,
Yeah, that's right.
and
Right.
yeah.
That's right, and we did, and like to this day, I'm 47. I still have respect for my peers, my elders,
Yep.
because back in the day, the neighbor would get on me if I said
Mhm.
something wrong and got out of line. You know,
Yes. Yep. Me too. And what's interesting is I don't even cuss in front of my mother or my father, and I'm in my 50s, so I don't
yeah,
even cuss in front of them, and I don't let my children cuss in front of me.
funny you.
They're not interested in cursing in front of me, and they're in their mid 30s,
Yeah,
and I don't let my grandkids and they teenagers. So, call me the big mama of hip hop. That's what we got to represent for our lineage to last and get what they deserve, out of life and that well-rounded experience.
wow. So that's very interesting because all of that actually, like, how did your childhood affect you as an adult? Because you told me a lot of things. How did that affect you as an adult?
You mean what type of impact on
Yes,
me
it
as an
it, it
adult to
did
who I
for
am
you.
now?
Yes.
You just whatever, your seeds that was sown, you learned a conditioning and a programming. It
Hmm.
wasn't as many people pulling on us, bringing us a different direction. You might have seen the dealers in the neighborhoods, from here and there. You might have seen the, um, from time to time, maybe some some street women, or you know a little bit of prejudiceness from time to time. But you really, for the most part, um, that just helped bring balance. So I learned balance. That's what I learned, and that's how it impacted me, by being able to see it all.
Hmm. Balance is very, very important. It is.
Mhm.
It is. And I just want to just go up just a little bit. Um, are you celebrating your? Is it 25 albums in over 36 years?
Yes, 25 albums in over 36 years. Yes.
Wow. So
Mhm.
so was there anything special that you and the family did? As far as that celebration, what is it that you guys done after, for that, for celebrating it?
You know what? It nothing special right this moment. We may be putting some. I'm releasing a product line.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, not necessarily from the family, but for my own independent, business.
Okay.
My beauty line. So I'm
Yeah.
releasing a hip hop beauty line. It's called Hip Hop Diamond.
Okay.
So the 25th album, that's great, but you just kind of get. It's a blessing. You just get you. Because I'm a producer, so it's endless of how many more I can make. But right now, I want to be able to continue to share information so that people can find the diamond in them,
Okay.
continue to, shine and find the beauty in hip hop, because
That's right.
it's not beautiful most of the time right now. So that's what encouraged me. I said, I'm going to release something for Hip Hop 50th, and it's going to be a beauty line. And so Hip Hop Diamond Collection. And you can find it at the sprinkleboutique.com. And then shortly it will be in major outlets.
Well, we're going to get into the sprinkle me and all of your endeavors. We're going to get into everything because you have a lot going on, you know.
Yes.
And I definitely want to get into it. Let's Since you brought up sprinkle me, was that like your debut? The first time you've been on the album,
Oh,
sprinkle.
no, no, no. My first song was made when I was 15.
Okay.
On an album, we were MVP. At the time, we weren't the clique. We were MVP, Most Vicious Performers. We was a group of. I was, of course, the only girl, but we had a whole bunch of other family members and groups that were all connected, and we called ourselves Most Vicious Performers. The
Okay.
King's Men was where that song was laid out on, and then I got myself in a little trouble and started kind of veering off a little bit, and became a mother. So, and started getting in a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't have no business into.
Okay.
And yeah, and so my brother and I, all of them, that was our way of keeping me balanced and out of trouble, to stay connected to them. And that's how they raised me as a coach, as an executive producer, to build our family record label, while of course producing music, and coming in as a producer, and that was an artist as well.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's wonderful. I always thought that, and it is hard to actually own a label. I
Mhm.
think it's very hard. Coming out of the Bay
Mhm.
Area, was it hard for all of you to get put on, or did you all just actually do this out of your own pockets? Because sometimes people don't help you at all. Was it
Mhm.
hard, for the family to get together and start a label?
Actually, it wasn't, because we all just kind of done things together, so it wasn't hard, because we just, we experienced the good, the bad, and ugly together. From sports to
Wow.
exploring, other lifestyles
Hmm.
that may not have been the most healthy lifestyle for us and safest, to transitioning from that to opening up a business, a store, a clothing store, a studio, and so we always did things together, even, going to church together. So that was not hard, to do that, because it was just us taking something different, and we had the support of my uncle, St. Charles. He worked for a record label, and he brought the understanding of how to create an independent approach and create our own lane. And that's what we did. So we went ghetto gold before radio,
Yeah,
internet. We had
yeah,
to show up and show out. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
right.
We
That's
couldn't
right.
hide behind no brands. We We couldn't hide behind no controversy. We couldn't hide behind our voice. We couldn't nilly vanilly. We had to literally show up, move around the country. You know what I'm saying? Represent. Mingle with the people, get them excited, learn the game, learn the people. Encourage and empower brothers and sisters that look like us
That's
all
right.
over the country with our music and some real spit that gave them some game, not just the general things that are being presented today that don't necessarily lift you up and help you evolve.
That's wow. Wow. Are you still doing any music today? You and the family?
Of course, yeah, definitely. We've done several uh, albums, not well singles, but they have
Single? Yeah.
songs, but they haven't been singles.
Okay.
I'll be doing something shortly. With my brother, doing another brother and sister duo, and we'll be celebrating us and being the first uh, multi-platinum and biggest brother and sister hip hop duet in history. Um,
It,
so
it already happened the first time. The first time around.
yes,
You know.
yes, we were
Yeah.
the first. So if somebody come behind us, we already made the first impact. So
Yeah. You
hey,
know.
out of all these years. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Young.
we definitely got some group stuff. We have a few different. Actually, we have a couple of different types of group presentations, and of course, I will continue to record. And we will continue to work together. We have quite a bit, for the new year that will be shared once everything is positioned.
Wow. Well, I know
Mhm.
when you and E40, your brother, y'all definitely made an impact with with the music you came out with. In
Mhm.
the golden years. I love to call it the golden years.
Yes.
You made a big impact. And it's like
Yes.
you were the only, to me, the only female that's really giving it. I mean, you was right up on the heels of those men in there. Doing the thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was listening to Hot Ones Echo to the get. I was listening to Hot Ones Echo through the ghetto.
Yeah,
Hot Ones Echo through the ghetto.
right.
I'm in the underbucket, blasted in the cut. It's the Glock going buck, buck, buck. I'm like, damn, what's up? I had that grip that hit the strip, some of that high power shit. And all along I was scoping out them chicks. Hot ones, tricks. Hot ones echo through the ghetto. This away, that away. I split them dope fiends wig. I remember
That's
that.
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I said bang
Wow.
bang. Yeah. And then wolf tickets,
Yeah,
wolf tickets.
wolf
Look
tickets.
to the
Wolf
chicks trying
tickets.
to be the shit. Come on with that sicky sing stupid ass. Soul Train's about to pay me though. So I can scap to Vallejo to the iggity oh. It's a gang of chicks trying to get in for free. Sprinkle
Right.
me, you see me, Suga T.
That's right.
Might appreciate some spit, real spiggity spit. Man,
Hmm.
folks be straight woofing it. Uh,
Wolf tickets. I remember wolf tickets.
yeah.
Lace me up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
scandalous and men. I think that was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's like the hits. It was hit after hit after hit. Do you feel as though that um you didn't really get the exposure that you needed back then? And I know you have hit records and
Mm-hmm.
platinum, but do you feel like
Mm-hmm.
the crew, the clique, didn't really get that exposure that they needed, especially on the East Coast?
Not really. I think we made a very big impact, because we had lots of gold albums. So,
Yeah,
being that we had already, hit the charts real heavy on our own as an independent, sick with a record, smashing, coming and showing up and showing out, you know what I mean, getting it done, real bossing, you know what I'm saying, selling our own CDs out the trunk. So it cracks me up when the new people say it. It's like, good.
yeah,
I'm happy you guys following our blueprint because we
yeah,
did that
yeah.
36 years ago. Oh,
Mhm.
damn the 38. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's right.
And being able to show up, call the record companies, call the
Oh,
one shop stops, call the distributors, show up at the retailers, do autograph signings, go and rub some shoulders, go to the radio stations and take care of the DJs and
that's
the
right.
programmers. I mean, it was some work, you know what I'm saying, and doing a lot of promotional shows, just letting them see what we're working with. So, that gave us a large scale, that put us up in position, to this day. That's why everything went gold and platinum. And we still got some new platinums that continue to come out through our group,
Yeah,
between my brother and between, of course, our group albums is constantly being reinvented and people are going, like they're sampling our stuff and they're going platinum, like J. Cole, J. Cole, he went platinum. So that's another platinum, in our archives. And then someone else, what's his name? Not
yeah.
MJ8 Bob. I can't never think of his name, but um,
Oh no, not MJG. That's the same person.
the young boy, MJ Young Boy,
No,
or
NBA young boy.
NBA Young Boy. Yes.
So he's
Uh,
a part of he's a part of the camp too.
no, he just actually released a song and he used my sample.
And you just sample and J
Mhm.
Cole. J Cole.
Yeah, J. Cole did too. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, we constantly get, golds and platinums and, the many soundtracks that,
yeah,
we've all been on independently as well as a group collectively. We've made some good reach, and at the end of the day, I don't really want to say that we didn't get the exposure. We all have lives to live, so the
yeah.
things that we did not do or get, it wasn't because we couldn't. It was because we weren't interested or we were into something else that we have going on besides just music. You know what I'm
Makes
saying?
sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and it cracks me up when people say my brother was underrated. I'm like, no, he not. People love my brother. My brother been smashing for a long time. When
Yeah,
he wasn't right in front of the gang, he had a radio show. He made sure everybody knew him. He kept it pushing. You know what I'm saying? So it just cracks me up because a lot of the people say that, wow, but you think 40 should get his props. He been getting his props. He's not
yeah. Just
underestimated.
back then, yeah.
It's either money or you can go run around and be famous and be
Hmm.
broke and under somebody else's
Yeah.
whip, or you
Hmm.
can come and show up independent and get the real money and be okay with what you're working with. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And last. So, you go fast, you run out of gas. You go slow. It's for show. You feel me?
So you know what I mean? I hear you.
uh-huh.
40. One thing he had that I love his own style. He didn't
Yes.
care. He be no, he got that flow, and he when he came out with that flow, believe it or not, a lot of people kind of took that but twisted up in their own little way. It,
Yeah.
his flow was really dope, man. And I just want to know, did they teach you, not actually teach you, but showed you the game and how to stay on track and how to do this verse, that verse? Was they writing any rhymes for you at that time, or you wrote everything on your own?
Yeah, from time to time we'll, throw some lines out there, all of us together,
Yeah,
amongst each other, but I was always a writer of my own music. You could tell, because I started off pretty much
yeah.
in the studio, drunk as a skunk, recording albums,
Wow,
producing it, and getting my contract signed and put
wow.
out there to go figure it out.
Mhm.
Because that's
Wow.
how my brother was. He was like, here, just this is what you sign, get him to sign right here. This is how much you give him. Don't give him no more than this, and
Wow.
go figure it out. So, so I enjoyed when we did collaborate, and it's always magic when we do things together. But yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, my latest music is that's what's it's a whole different level of of content that people
Okay.
would really
Okay.
appreciate. Yeah, as well.
Wow. Well,
Got
I
the
heard
Queen
it.
of
I
the
heard it.
West, Rapidemic. I'm sorry not to cut you off, but
No, go ahead.
Queen of the West, Rapidemic. What was the last ones? Ooh, Queen of the West. Those are the two latest ones: the Queen of the West and the Rapidemic.
Yeah,
The
I
Gaming.
heard a few of them. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, that's what's
Heard a
up.
few of them.
hmm
And I know
The
you.
latest one is Eris. I am sorry about that. What was that?
It's Eris, right? No,
Uh huh.
Eris. I am.
Yes, yes, yep. Eris, I am Eris.
Wow. So he keep dropping them and dropping them. Now, who does the production on your music?
Well, I collaborate with producers, so we do it together.
Okay.
I'm a producer, so it's not as easy to show up with just, a track. Sometimes I have to put my input into it to make sure it's something I could feel or I kind of what I call produce up where I can enhance it. I
Yeah.
like to work with a lot of upcoming producers because they tend to be the most humblest, the most consistent, the
That's
most
right.
appreciative, the newer, one that's not so big, but still talented and, fool with the underdog. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Somebody that, give somebody else a chance to get some exposure and put
Right.
some, get them a player card and put it on their accolades. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right. I understand.
Mhm.
Let's
Yeah.
let's talk about 50 years. This whole 50 years of hip hop. The BET, all this stuff.
hmm
Did you get a call to
hmm
be a part of what they was doing? I have a two-part question. You can answer that one first. But did you get a phone call to participate in what they was doing?
That's a good question. So when I wrote Eris, I seen the politics. I said, you know what? I am Eris. I'm a queen.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is my inheritance. You can't take my inheritance. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
can decrown a queen. Everybody want to call themselves a queen,
That's
but
right.
you can't
Yeah. Yeah.
you can't behead no heiress. You know what I'm saying? Because they're an heir. it's automatically coming to them and they can't be beheaded. So when I wrote my album, that's a part of my thoughts, is okay, I'm gonna write and release this 25th on in the 50th, and see and be able to express another side, of truth.
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying? And so with that, um the 50th, it's a lot of politics,
A
a
lot.
whole lot of people
Yeah.
leaving people out, a whole
Yeah.
lot of people grabbing one side and giving one side props and another one unpropped.
Yeah.
But what's beautiful is that VH1 honored me. They can't take that back. I was honored as a West Coast hip hop pioneer of all times by Queen Latifah and VH1.
That's right.
That cannot be taken back.
Right.
So worldwide, you get what I'm saying? Letting them know that's what's up. And then she highlighted me on the John Cotet show. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, on the what's his name? James.
No, it was who was it? I'm sorry.
Was it James Cotet?
I think it was James Coten.
It was one of them. So,
Okay.
and many others, you know what I mean? And, and at the end of the day, um, the politics are real. And I'm looking, the elements of everybody got an agenda with Hip Hop 50. It's
Everybody.
very unorganized.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ones that is organized, they keep bringing the same people, onto that platform,
Yeah.
promoters and other people.
Yeah.
They're ruling out people that really deserve it, the people that actually got cataloged.
Mhm.
I'm 25 albums in. Whether they platinums, golds, or sold 10 of them. The point is I've been working very hard, not only
That's right.
impacting, musically, but also, I'm an independent black owned woman record label. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And black owned, philanthropist and, beauty producer,
Hmm.
coach, and deal with a lot of areas that should be applauded, because 50th shouldn't just be about the music and who's on the A list that they can
That's right.
climb on top
That's
of. You know what I mean?
that's what I said.
So it's pretty sad because, watching this behavior, you look and you say, wow, these people trying to work you. Some of the stuff I don't want to show up for because I don't want to show up for free. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because a
Yeah.
lot of this stuff is certificate programs. Oh, come and get this certificate, and they try to play this, competitive, healthy competition type of element that's connected to it. Whether they're doing it on purpose or not, I don't know. But the bottom line is, as an artist, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to miss out. I don't want to miss out on this because when you start not being seen in certain atmospheres in
Mhm.
certain places, that's kind of a sign of council culture.
It
You know
is.
what I'm
It
saying?
is. It is.
And it
Yeah.
kind of, put you in a space where, oh, why is she not here? Okay, she must not be a part. So it's messy. It's a lot of moving pieces to it. And a lot of moving pieces. Some of it I'm not interested in participating because I'm not running around getting no free certificates when I'm a G, a veteran, a doctor, and I work very hard, to put myself in a great position. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And it shouldn't be compared, to um, being only A-listed, especially when there's so many people coming out the woodworks right now. It's like oversaturated. I'm like, where is this person at?
That's
These
right.
people ain't made no album. They
And I don't
they
know
still
how many.
rocking with their old, you know what I'm saying? They still rocking
Yeah.
with their old presentation. So
Yeah.
it's politics, and the beautiful thing is I've been doing my own hip hop her 50th. So because I have a museum called Her Museum.
Yes. That's what I
It's
want to get into. Yes.
Yes, it's a
Yes.
women and girl empowerment,
Yes.
community wellness, and arts, for healing and transformation
Hmm.
platform. And
Hmm.
so the beautiful thing is we have an exhibit called Hip Hop Her 50th. And
Right.
I, kind of paired it with the Eris I Am, because the Hip Hop Her 50th, the presentation and the content is how to have stay in power. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Hmm.
It's about, how do you be an heir? How do you,
Right.
represent that heiress in you? And I got those tools because I've made it. I've been a mother, for 35 years.
Hmm.
I've been a grandmother for 14. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I have 8 of them. I've been very actively a part of my children's and my grandchildren's life. And my goal was not to sit on no A list and everybody see me every second. You get what I'm saying? My goal was to have a well rounded life, keep pushing good music.
Hmm.
I'm not dealing with sex, drugs, violence, stripping, bullying, because
Yeah.
that ain't nothing but poison to the people
Hmm.
that's following you. You automatically become a leader whether you want to or not. And that stuff is really impact on our youth and our girls, where everywhere they look, they got booty popping and, and
It's
twerking and
like
jerking.
a strip show.
Yes, it's so sad. And there is nothing cute about that. There is nothing bossy about that. I be seeing some of these artists, they'll perform, and next thing you know, they'll turn around and bend over. And I'm like, oh shoot, you just came with a little boss line and now you turning around bending over for him? Come
Yeah,
on, baby. We ain't, I'm a G. You ain't getting it like that with me. I've been able to impact and talk smack, and I gotta take my clothes off. You get
that's
what I'm
right.
saying?
That's right.
And
That's right.
game is to be sold and not told. However, some people, they just become a magnet to real, and to game. And the sad part is, the heiress I am shares this so that my sisters can have some, a space to grow and learn and get wiser and then
Mhm.
see the other side of the movement. You know what I mean? So I created my own. That's what I do. Anyway, you kick me out of something, I'm gonna go create my own, because I'm highly intelligent. I'm a
Right.
genius. I'm gonna figure it out.
Right. Right. You're right about that. And you also mentioned like strip club. When I'm watching the stage performances nowadays, it does seem like just go get a pole and have a microphone and slide down the pole and rap because it looked just like that. Everybody is half no, half naked or naked, half
Yeah,
naked. You
yeah.
know, and it's like it's not hip hop. KRS once said it. That's not hip hop.
Come on, talk about it.
It's not hip hop. So
It's not.
if you can change anything about the music industry, what would it be?
I want to see people have a more well-rounded approach to this thing. I want to see them use all their gifts and talents, not just focus on what's in front of the media. The media is doing their job. The record companies is doing their job. We need to do ours. So we running behind, the hype, running behind every time somebody say something or do something while they getting their money, getting their check, and getting things done. And if you following the things that are not healthy, then that is what you can become. So I want to see, it's called classical conditioning. You know what I'm saying?
Classical.
And, it's a Bandura doll experiment, made it very clear. Sigmund Freud made that very clear. And there's a psychology and a conditioning and a programming that salespeople do to sell their products. And when you get caught up in it and when you're not educated or understand it, that could be a serious problem, where you might be saying one thing today, but then 10 years later, if you last, you know what I mean? You'll be like, oh, wow, what all did I fool around here and do? Where the real information at? But the problem is that, what I want to continue to see is don't just jump on anything that jump out there.
That's
Stick
right.
to some games, stick to the elders, stick to the veterans, stick to the
That's right.
ones that actually want to give you something.
That's right.
Be wise, and not just fall into anything that's thrown in your face. Because that's the whole point. Do it with balance. You know what I'm saying? So, I enjoy, that hip hop 50th can stay beautiful through my beauty line, hip hop diamond collection, you know. But at the end of the day, there's nothing beautiful about it. There's nothing healthy about it. Yes, I still get down. People can follow my YouTube, Sugar T Official, follow my Instagram, but that's not my only movement. There's a whole lot more going on besides just hip hop. So I want to really see people take a very well-rounded approach to their life because this is their life. They only live one time. And I want hip hop 50th to grow up. It's time. Our industry is the only genre, is the only hip hop is the only genre that does not present content that elevates you.
Right.
It presents content that take you way off track, glorifying sex, drugs, violence, bullying, stripping, and
Yeah.
all that stuff. There's nothing healthy about that. Violence, it's nothing healthy about that. That is a detrimental, uh, a detrimental, intergenerational, dysfunctional
That's right.
element that can go from generations to generations because it didn't already linger. You know what I'm saying? And then I want people to learn how to be loyal. Just because you don't see somebody, go find them. I've been around. Just because they're not in front of the camera, I'm not willing to do the controversy and put all my business out there and tell who I divorced and, like all these artists is doing now to keep some eyeballs around them because they just always feel like any publicity is good publicity.
And yeah, making a fool out of themselves.
Man, and they know people is nosy, and don't got nothing better to do. Find something to do. That's why I work as a transformation and wellness visionary, multiple streams money coach. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Let
right.
me give you some way to make some money. You feel me? Sprinkle Me Learning Academy is an academy that I opened up. It's a coaching, development, training, and exploration platform. And we present master classes. We have online school courses and classes for youth, adults, everywhere from workforce development to wellness to health, to arts,
Yeah.
to personal development, professional development. and mentoring. So it goes down. We work in a mobile, we show up at your spot, and we also present our online elements that you can get in our online school. So Sprinkle Me Learning Academy, and it was branded off of the Sprinkle Me School of Music.
Sprinkle.
Um, I didn't want people, it was Sprinkle Me School of Music and Vision.
Okay.
So I took Sprinkle Me because if I didn't, somebody else was going to. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's right.
So I worked towards, let me just grab something that makes some sense, and we all know that Sprinkle Me is about giving you some game. You want some game? Let me give you some. Here you
Sprinkle
go.
me. Sprinkle me,
Like
baby.
a kid, here you go.
Wow, that's dope. You came out with the academy. How is it doing? On like, what is the success rate in that academy?
Oh, it's all going great. It's all a matter of how much I put into it, and how much, how hard, or how less I want to work in
Yeah,
my team. What I want to do. Do I,
that's right.
how much I want to manage,
That's
how
right.
many people I want to manage, what I need to get done, what kind of campaign I'm running. It all is good. It's kept me alive, for years. I've had it since 2014. And it works as a support to the Working Well Project, which is my nonprofit organization. So the
Okay.
nonprofit called the Working Well Project, that's what we do. We serve vulnerable populations,
Wow.
that are from reentry to former foster youth to domestic violence victim, to seniors, to the youth. And so it definitely serves as a support where we can actually implement, and provide things to people for free. You know what I'm saying? That won't necessarily, they don't have to pay for it, and they can still grab something that they can grow with. You know what I mean? We
Wow.
serve organizations as well and businesses,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
so, and I don't, it works really well. Everything works together.
That's great. Well, you continue on because it seems like you have a lot going on, and it's also working for you, and it's wonderful. Keeps you busy. You know.
Yes, it definitely keeps you out of trouble, and definitely don't have time to be in nobody business.
None of, and since we you have so many things, and I know we're not going to get all through this right away, but what influenced you to shift from hip hop artist to get to acting? Because you're also in a few films too.
Yes, and I actually have some TV shows. I'm on
That too.
hiatus
Yeah.
now. Yeah, I'm on hiatus now. It didn't necessarily encourage me. I just had, to be honest with you, I just had a friend that was like, look, my boy is shooting a production out there in LA. They was from New York.
Yeah.
And he was like, you should go out there and try out. He might hire you, So I went out there and tried out. Originally, I was there to be on one episode to just as a guest actress.
I guess that. Yeah.
And yeah, and then it led into me being there as a guest actress, um, a regular guest star actress,
Okay.
writer, voiceover, and performer.
Mm. Wow.
So
So
I
it
stayed through
started
the
off
whole
that.
season
Yeah.
on MTV. And the next season after, so I would honestly, I really regret not staying focused as I could have at that time. I was
Yeah.
really busy trying to run back to the music. I had another album, Suga T and Friends, that I was putting out. I want to kind of finish it off because I accidentally ended up on the show. I wasn't trying to be there as long as I was. Um, so it was divine order. And then of course I ended up, the Obstacles movie, which is my brother's movie. Don't Get Caught is another one. Brian Hook's movie, which is it was originally called Boogie Beach Bash, but now it's called I forgot what it's called.
Oh, you said book.
I did recently some movies. I got a part that's
I
coming
know
out.
you have a few. I mean, I can name a few right now.
Please, will you?
You have no. I'm sorry. These are the credits. You have credits in almost a lot of movies. Meet the Blacks, House Next Door.
Hmm.
Yeah, you have a lot of credits. And the movies, I just wrote everything down. You have a lot of movies too. I know Malibu, uh,
Malibu, yeah.
Malibu.
Malibuti.
Yeah,
Malibuti.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. It's a few movies. You have. I
Yeah.
wrote everything
And a
down.
whole bunch of soundtracks.
Nurse Betty, Pootie Tang, Original Gangsters.
You got it.
Yeah, yeah. So you have a lot. So that's how the
Mhm.
shift came with hip hop artists and being actress.
Yeah, it was just it wasn't a shift, it was just another added talent that I
Another
was able
act.
to
Okay.
use. Yeah. I still I took a break, from music. Thank God, I got to a point where I didn't want to be stagnated, and I felt
Mhm.
like I don't want to sit somewhere and say the same thing that everybody else was saying
Yeah,
when I could be home with my kids and not missing out on a chance to raise them with the
right.
only one time that I got to raise them
That's
and
right.
have them in my house. And I took a kind of put it on a back burner. I
Hmm.
still would do it, but I wanted to do something that didn't require me to, to encourage and be a part of the implementation of what we are today, to be honest with you. So, I wrote blues albums, I wrote gospel albums, I became more spiritually conscious. I wrote jazz albums, dance, and, and continue to use all my gifts. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not going to let hip hop just pin me in no box. I don't care
Yeah,
if
just
I sell
yeah,
10 or 20.
yeah.
I'm going to use my gifts. Everybody can't sing. So,
Right.
I'm going to sing and write and produce things that I enjoy while making sure I had a well-rounded experience in my life as my first,
That's right.
responsibility as a matriarch. So, my children were very important to me, and I
Hmm.
want to make sure that they liked me. When they got older, that I didn't come up missing on them, and they're like, "Oh my God, you got all this, but I don't know you."
Yeah.
I want to enjoy raising them because that's what I had them for. I had two at 17, and then I became a grandmother at 37. And I'm very grateful that I have had time,
Oh
and
yeah.
I created an atmosphere for me that allowed me to have the flexibility I needed to support my daughters and to make sure I stay connected, as a matriarch in my family. And that takes a lot, you know, takes a lot in terms of, it takes a lot when it comes down to not just sacrifice, because it's a good sacrifice,
Yeah.
but more so people having the wrong understanding of what you're about and throwing you under the bus because they're ignorant. You know
Wow.
what I'm saying?
That was my
Yeah.
next question too. I was going to ask you that what you just said, but first I wanted to ask you: can we talk about the Work It Well project? And then
Hmm. Sure.
yeah, can we talk about that?
Yeah, so the Work It Well project, anybody could donate. They can support the cause. They can
Work It
be a
Well.
part of the movement. I'm gonna put the website down here so that people can
Yeah.
enjoy the option. It's
Hmm.
the workitwellproject.org. So the
Yeah. Yeah.
work it
I'll put it across the screen.
project.org.
Work It Well project.
I
Yeah.
think that's what it is. Where's my glasses at?
Yeah. I hook it up. Workitwellproject.org. Right.
Yes, the workitproject.org.
Okay.
Boom. There
The
it goes.
Work It project. Okay.
Yes, the workingproject.org. And anyone who wants to donate, support the cause. We support families of children with autism, like I said, in those in marginalized communities and vulnerable populations who are underserved, seniors, youth, women. We have a project called the SOS. We do summits for
Hmm.
girls. We have mentoring programs. We have groups, clubs, things that can help enhance, especially my little sisters, and support the teachers, support the leaders, come together and build real community. You know what I mean? And we teach other people how to do that and how to lead like a champ. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Wow, wow. Now you see, and this is what I'm saying. You have so much. We have to do a part two. Viewers, she has a lot going on, so I'm not going to fit everything in this. What would you say is the biggest misconception about you?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Is like people think that because my brother is E40 that I'm supposed to be doing what he's doing.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I am a whole woman, baby. Okay. I'm 5 decades in. Yes, I'm grateful. I look 35. You know what I mean? I am blessed. God is good. But at the end of the day, I am a very mature woman who, again, has raised two generations, and my oldest generation is in their mid 30s. And again, grandparent teenagers, men, they can have the freedom that they want in that way because they have a mother or a woman, or a wife who is there to handle womanly duties.
that's right.
Unless you want to give your children to maids and nannies, and you don't really have that real connection, or you're okay and trusting people in your house like that. I've never been like that. I have family who supported me, you know what I'm saying? And even then, I limited that because things happen even with family. I had my mom who supported me, but even with that, things happen, in that way sometimes, So my goal was to be there to stand up. So for mines, you know what I mean? Because I
Yeah,
knew hip hop is a second nature. Music is, I'm a G. I can do this all day on my pinky toes. When you are a machine, you ain't got to beg to get put on. You put your own self on. You know what I'm
that's right.
saying? So I've been
That's right.
putting my own self on, whether I sell 10 units or sell 10,000 units or sell a million units. I
Right.
already got golds and platinums. I have about 20 of them. So it's like, I don't have to prove a point. And sometimes people misconcept that, okay, well, maybe she's just underestimated or she's just not included. Some of the times I don't want to be included. I have other stuff to do and I enjoy it. So, I think that sometimes people misperceive my space and my place, and feel a certain way when the reality is I'm where I want to be. I'm good, and it don't take but a snap of a finger to get other things done. That my life wasn't about, oh my God, I want to be on the A list. I'm going to be the biggest hip hop artist and da, 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 da. I wasn't that type of woman.
Hmm.
I'm like, I'm a
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
see, represent, do what I do because I know I'm good at whatever I do, and I can do other stuff too. I'm not getting pinned in a box like that. So that I'm an educated woman by choice, as you know, especially in a space right now with the work that I do as an educator and a leader, and with the hip hop just being so ignorant. I never wanted to be in a room where they're saying, "Oh, she don't know what she's talking about. That's just Suga T.
Yeah.
She's a rapper. She just raps. You got successful by rapping." That
Right.
wasn't my story. I didn't want that to be my end result.
That's right.
And so I definitely, have stepped away, which this is a misperception that people don't get from time to time to educate myself. AA in liberal studies, AA in business, a bachelor's in psychology, a master's in organizational management, supply chain management, and Christian counseling. And I have earned doctor's degree.
Three masters. You completed three masters, right?
Yes.
Um, Humanitarian doctorate, right? Doctorate degrees.
Yes. And then I had an honorary doctorate that's a music doctorate. So they gave me an honorary one. So I have two doctorates. Yeah. So I also have a whole bunch of other certifications from IT tech. I'm trying to get people into the technology world now. IT tech, where there's money, cybersecurity, there's pathways, there's support, there's people who can really get a good life out of this if they can get unfocused. I mean, if they can focus on other things besides what they're being fed, and work on themselves, and realize that music and television is fake. At the end of the day, it's made to sell a product, so it's just, they misconceive me because I'm just so real. It's very difficult for me to be fake. It's difficult for me to just carry out this soul image. I just be me,
That's
and
right.
that's it. And sometimes they misconceive because I smile and because I got, good intellect, that, I might not be as raw as I am. But that's why I encourage people to go follow my Suga T official YouTube, pull up my old music, pull up my newer music. It's still raw, but I don't feel like I have to be like everybody else and push drugs and violence and sex and alcohol, bullying, bragging and violence because it's unnecessary. And to me, doing a bunch of profanity and cursing and acting a fool, that's just showing a form of ignorance. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm just amazed. Not one. You have completed not one, not two, but three master degrees. You know how much schooling you have to go and sit and study. How did you juggle all of that, and with the music, and with other things you're doing in life? How is that possible? And I know it is, but how did you do that?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. You know what? I took a little piece at a time. I
Okay.
started with the AA liberal studies I accidentally got.
Okay.
Because
Wow.
I end up with a whole bunch of credits of dropping out of school, coming back, because I toured too. So
Yeah.
dropping out of school, coming back, going back and forth, and then eventually they're like, "You got all these credits." So liberal studies is what these credits come up to.
That's
And
right.
then of course I purposely did the general business, and then I did the bachelor's in psychology. It was something that I wanted to learn because I knew that you could use that for anything. So you say, how did I do it? It was a really strong spirit in me that said, you know what, if I get blackballed, or if I don't want to do this music stuff no more because I feel like I'm not good enough, or I feel like I'm not I
Yeah.
had to go to online school, at certain parts of
Wow.
my
Good.
education,
Mhm.
and they really beefed up. You know
That's
what I'm
cool.
saying? And push others to do it. That's the
Mhm.
reason why I made it a coaching school, to offer that to others so that they can have an opportunity to be successful too.
Wonderful. Viewers, we have Dr. Sugar T. You can check out her music. She has tons